Hey everyone, and welcome back to Can't Drive This. As promised, we're back to look at how single player works in this game and to have a little fun with the whole family. So first up, I'm going to tackle single player, and to be honest, I was really kind of wondering how that was going to work. If you watched part 1 of our video, you know that we played co-op, and one person built and the other person drove as they did so, which led to quite a bit of fun and confusion. Now apparently in single player, you start off in build mode, and then when you are ready, you press the triangle button and switch to drive mode and drive over what you just built. Then, once you are done, you press the button again to switch back to build and repeat the process. Your goal is to get to the wooden platforms and the glowing cubes that are on them. Each time you pass over a cube, it adds time. As you can see right there. The real challenge lies in the fact that once you exit build mode, it builds each piece one at a time, so you can't just drive quickly to the next area thinking the pieces are all going to be there. One nice difference between single player and co-op mode is that when you inevitably crash and die, you don't lose. In single player, you simply respawn and get to continue trying until you run out of time. If you didn't watch the first part of our video, you don't get to pick the pieces ahead of time, you just can rotate the pieces that you were given. This makes things a little challenging at times, but can also lead to some interesting road design. I use the word design loosely. The game plays fairly well, the controls are tight, and I've had no problems with them. And it seems I've blocked myself in here. Ah! Oh, that wasn't fun. Unfortunately, single player only has this one game mode. You can tell it was really designed to be a multiplayer experience. But including the single player mode, I think, was a really wise decision. It adds a little something to the game for those of us who can't always play with other people. It's a nice supplement. I wouldn't buy the game just for the single player mode, or I think you'll be disappointed. The game is definitely a lot more fun with friends, which we'll take a look at in just a few moments. First, I want to just see how I can do with a little more practice. Well, that seems oddly familiar. But again, as I said, you do respawn until you run out of time. And with that, we're going to switch over and see how this game is with 3 players. In our last video, we had shown you how 2-player works, and we were curious to see how that would translate to an odd number of players. So the first thing you do is pick which side of the screen you want to have. One person gets a larger section, and the other 2 players will get a quarter of the screen. In our first attempt at this, I'm the one building, and my son and my wife are the ones driving. And we quickly discovered that it's much harder to build when you only have a quarter of the screen to see. So I would recommend that if you do give this a try, you set it up so that the person who has half the screen is the one building, and you let the 2 who are driving each make do with a quarter of the screen. So we decided to run through it a second time to see if we could do any better. Again, I was the one building, and they were the ones racing. The obstacles in the game are very challenging. As you can see, my wife just missed the hoop as my son piles through the boxes. And it was during this that we discovered that just like in single player, death is handled differently when you have 3 players. When you have 3 or 4 players and somebody crashes, one of the other drivers can go back and respawn them, which is a really nice mechanic for making the game cooperative with drivers instead of just competitive, and is a really nice way of ensuring that 3 people playing together have to actually work together. In between each match, you have the option of rotating roles between the different players, which we do here. And you can see that having half the screen when you're the builder is a definite advantage. It gives you a lot more real estate to play with. And if you try this at home, it's definitely the approach I would take. I would just hand the controller back and forth instead of rotating players. Oh. Alright, not bad. We're gonna rotate roles again. And this time my son will do the building up in the upper left hand. One of the things I found kind of fun about this game was you really get to see how different friends or family members approach it. My son likes to build straight and go fast when he's driving. My wife is much more slow and methodical in her approach to driving. And I fall somewhere in the middle, being pretty bad at both. Overall, I'd say Can't Drive This is a fun game for the family. I don't know if I'd really recommend it. While it is good for a lot of laughs, and it's got a certain sweet zaniness to it, the lack of variety in the game modes make it sort of a one-trick pony. And I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, because what it does well. I just wish it had a little more to offer the family. But it's a good distraction. You will have some fun with it. It just doesn't bring anything particularly new to the genre. And with that, I think we will run through it one more time and sign off. If you'd like to see more of Can't Drive This on our channel, please leave a like or comment down below. And if you haven't already, please consider subscribing to our channel. It really helps us out. And we will be back soon with more videos and more family fun. Thanks for watching.